that you can hear me now. Please let me know in a comment. I really hope that it works out now. The problem was that previously I received today a big technological upgrade and I connected a microphone to my computer to have better sound. And it worked during testing. But for some reason, when I went on with the live video, then it stopped working and I couldn't switch back to the microphone of my computer. And I see that it's working now. Great, I'm so happy. I'm so happy. Good morning, everyone. Or good afternoon. It's actually 5 o'clock in the afternoon here where I am living in Amsterdam in the Netherlands. So, to start one more time, I am your masterclass teacher for the month of May here in the Seed Beads and More group. And I am teaching you the basics of bead embroidery through my project, The Traveler. And this is a project which you can fully personalize. It can be a brooch, it can be a necklace, it can even be earrings, a bracelet. And you can use whatever colors you like. And you can also combine the stitches in such a way what you like the most. Last week, we had the first lesson. And this is a Q&A, a question and answer session following that first lesson. So first of all, I would like to thank you all for the warm welcome I received. It's such a pleasure and honor to be here. And thank you so much for all the kind comments and all the pictures I saw. It makes me really happy to see that you are enjoying the classes so far. I would like to show you some of the results which we had seen in the group because I think they are amazing. And yeah, all of you are doing such a nice job. This is, for example, from Aniko, or this is from Petra, and then Wendy. And I think all the examples, these ones and the others, they are just great. And thank you so much for beading with me. So I'm very glad to see also that many of you decided to download the Forget Me Not tutorial. This shows you how to do a peyote basil for rivolis, and this is something we use for attaching the focal component. And I think if you are a beginner beader, this will be really, really handy on your journey as a beader. It will also make a nice gift for Mother's Day, for example, if you are last minute, and it looks perfect in every color. Just an example of some of the colors I have beaded during the past years. So, and what are we going to do today? I tried to collect already as many of the questions which you posted under the videos and under the files already. So if you don't mind, I would like to start by answering some of these questions. And not only questions, but I will also put on screen some of the good advice which beaders in the group gave to each other, because I think this is the most wonderful thing about the group, that we all inspire and all motivate and all help out each other. And there were some really, really nice advices given which are worth to give more attention to. So, and in the meanwhile, please continue posting questions if something pops into your mind. So I will start by answering these questions, which I have found below the videos and files. And in the meanwhile, please ask your questions in a comment, and I will also answer those. I will actually alternate between the questions which I've already saved and which you will post now. So let's start, and I am really looking forward to this. So, for example, here is a question from Afton. She says, "Thank you, you're a great instructor." Thanks. "If you don't have ultrasuede, is there something else I could use? And also, how often will you be on? Thank you, happy beading. PS, I'm viewing from Kearns, Utah, USA." So thank you for the question, Afton. Ultrasuede is really the best you can have. So if you have a possibility to get ultrasuede, I really recommend to go for it. It's just perfect. It doesn't fray, it doesn't tear, it doesn't wrinkle. So it's really, really nice to use. Also, your needle doesn't leave holes. You don't actually puncture or damage the fabric when you are beading into it. So you can unpick your work as many times as you want, and it will not be full of little holes. But if you don't have ultrasuede, you can also, as others suggested, also embroider directly into lacy stiff stuff. If you can't find, if you work with darker beads, but you can find only white lacy stiff stuff, which is often the case, then I would recommend to color it with a permanent marker. You can also exercise by embroidering into felt, some sturdier type of felt, but for like jewels which you would like to wear for a longer time, I would not recommend felt, because there will be frays of the fabric visible in between the beads, and it's not worth the effort. In this case, I really like to find other solutions, other substitutes, but with the beading foundation, I would really recommend to go for ultrasuede or something similar, or without like frays, or the lacy stiff stuff. Then, actually, for some reason I don't see the names again, but yeah, one of her friends says that she have used denim and felt before. Yeah, denim is also a great idea. I would recommend it for your second project, probably not for your first, but yeah, it is possible to do that. Then we have a question here from Wendy. "Hello, Erika. Firstly, I would like to thank you for inspiring me to try bead embroidery. I have tried and failed before. I have a question. I have a very small cabochon, around 1 × 1.5 centimeters. What beads should I use to bezel it, please?" Thank you for the question, Wendy. For bezeling, no matter the size of the cabochon, I always use Miyuki Delica 11 and then round seed beads size 15. It can be a big cabochon like the one I'm wearing. It can be a small cabochon like the one you will be using. It's always Miyuki Delica and number 15 round beads. So I hope that helps. What I want to say, that I see that you have an oval cabochon, and I see that you modified the grid into a rectangle, from a square. Very good, very good. Then a friend of ours: "If you use ultrasuede, what do you use as backing?" So I like to embroider directly into the ultrasuede. If it's a bigger piece, Or if it's a trickier shape, not a simple round mandala like the traveler will be, then I like to back it either with lacy stiff stuff, or after finishing my embroidery, I actually like to glue waxed thin cardboard on the back side. I will show you my trick in the, I think it will be in the third lesson. And to cover these 2 layers, I use either, how do you say it? Fake leather, imitation leather, or leather itself, or at the beginning when I couldn't find imitation leather, then I used another layer of ultrasuede. Thank you for the well, question. So let's see. We had a question from Becky. How is E6000 different from F6000? F6000 is my absolute favorite glue. The first one I got as a gift from my friend Katalin last year. It is very similar regarding the strength as E6000, but what I like about it, that it has a precision tip, and I can apply the glue exactly where I want, and I will not have any spillage. This needle in the middle of the top, it goes into the precision tip, so then it seals it, and there will be no glue dried in the top of it. That's one thing what I don't like about E6000, but otherwise it's perfectly good. And if I use E6000, then I combine it with toothpicks, and I apply the glue with toothpicks to be as precise as possible. So thank you for the question, Becky. Then we have a question. Can we just use seed beads in the outer part? I don't have many other types. I see others using cubes, etc. You can use other beads, but you don't have to. You can totally go with only seed beads. You can create an interesting effect also if you combine different sizes and different colors of seed beads. So don't worry at all if you have only seed beads. So, how do you prevent the thread from tangling when using double thread? I try to use a reasonable length of the thread, and then I don't really experience this problem. I use a fire line, and actually the 2 lines of the fire line, they don't tangle too much. Don't go overly. Sometimes I make the mistake of getting too long thread, just so I don't have to add new thread, but it's counterproductive. Keep your thread shorter and it will not tangle. Then another question from yeah, actually, if you are looking, many of you asked, where can you find the PDF? The easiest way to find it is to go between the files and locate it there. Then we have a question from Barbara. I have always beaded directly onto the laces, but see that the ultrasuede works better. Thank you. You can go either way. I like it more with the ultrasuede, but also I really recommend to try different solutions, because what might work for me might not work for you. So it's very, very personal. Then we had a question from Petra. I drew the lines with a pencil and they start to fade. Do we need them furthermore? Then I will draw them with a pen. Maybe we only use the lines to place the coin cabochon in the middle. So I already answered Petra in the meanwhile in a comment, but I wanted to bring this to your attention. You don't absolutely need the grid. It is, for example, helpful. I will show you my work in progress piece. It is helpful because I wanted to attach these dagger beads here, and they look the best if they are exactly in 45 angle degree. And I just wanted to show you that this is a possibility, and it is indeed helpful if you are embroidering a more complicated design. But with the traveler, don't worry too much about it. Thank you, Petra, for the question. Then let's see the comments. I see that you are already answering each other for some of those questions, so I will not repeat that. Kathy asked, will we be able to get on the video later? I can't watch now. All the videos, they will stay here in the Seed Beads and More group, so you can rewatch them as many times as you want, exactly when it suits you. So they are not going anywhere. Then, yeah, this is not a question actually, but I really wanted to show this picture from Mariella, and this is how she embroiders. And this can be, she attached the ultrasuede into an embroidery circle, and it is very helpful indeed when you work on especially some bigger pieces, when you need the ultrasuede to stay even. But I just wanted to bring Mariella's great idea to your attention, because I think it's really useful. Then oh yeah, a very good question from Deb. Is there anything you can use instead of cup chain that looks pretty like it does? I really like the look, but don't have any. Well, I have made this necklace a couple of years ago, and I didn't have cup chain yet that time. So what I did was that I glued flat back rhinestones one by one into a circle, into my design. So it is a lot more work. You have to be like very precise to like make it really nice, but it is indeed possible to achieve some similar effects without using cup chain. Then let's see. Elaine, these are all wonderful. I realized you used all different sized beads here, but was this the same technique you demonstrated, or is it several techniques? Elaine asked this under the post where I showed you several different possibilities of doing the traveler. And what is the same in every motif is how I start them and how I finish them. So the first lesson, attaching the coin and bezeling it, it was indeed the same for every traveler, but then all the different stitches, what I will be showing you tomorrow, you can combine them in such a way as you like. I modify them all the time. So yeah, the middle is the same, but then you will totally personalize it according to your taste. Then let's see. Tamara, do I need to buy the brand ultrasuede? My local store has microsuede. I don't see a place that has ultrasuede unless I buy it online, which is fine. I just need to know if the brand makes a difference. At this question, if anyone has experience with using different brands of suede, then I would really appreciate it if you shared your expertise, because Tamara, I'm sorry, but I have tried only this brand, so I can't answer it. But when you want to test it, if you shop locally and if you can go to a store to really check it, what's important that it doesn't fray, it doesn't wrinkle, and that if you push your needles through it, then it doesn't actually make holes. So this is what you need to keep in mind when choosing something else than the brand ultrasuede. Then, any advice on size of beads to use out from oval? Example, small to larger beads, 3, 4, 6, or do you mix it up with the round seed beads in between? You can go either way. I have never used 6mm beads. I find those a bit too big, maybe, but it's about personal choice. I like to use 2, 3, 4mm round beads or fire polished beads. But I haven't gotten bigger than that. I also like to use tilla beads, for example. I also like to use quarter tillas, all different kinds of shapes. Also, as you see, the dagger beads. So you can indeed incorporate bigger beads into your embroidery, but I would keep it on my mind to, unless you want to create a lot of structure or a lot of texture, that you might want to look for beads which are thinner and not very tall. But that's again about personal choice, that what do you like, what kind of texture. Then, actually, we have this question about the size of beads to basil, a 1x1.5 cabochon. I actually already answered that. Then we have from Cheryl. What is the best way of choosing a color of ultrasuede for the piece, please? Cheryl, my favorite color of ultrasuede is this light gray color. It pretty much blends in with any kind of beads. If you like to use earth tones, then I would go with a brownish tone. But if you don't plan to leave the ultrasuede visible, then it doesn't exactly have to match the beads. Some kind of neutral is nice to use. I have made in the past bracelets where only the middle, there was a focal with some decorations all around it, and then the rest of it, where I left only the ultrasuede visible, and then the color of the ultrasuede is indeed important. But otherwise, go for something neutral, like gray or brown, for example. Thank you for your question, Cheryl. Then Connie, she asks, what is the size of the coins you used in your traveler? They are different, but to give you an example, the one I am using now for demonstrating, it's about 2.5 centimeters wide. But you can go bigger, you can go a bit smaller. The biggest coin what I have used, it was like 5-6 centimeters wide. It was a vintage. It was an antique Chinese coin. So you can go. There is no one specific size what you need to use. Then, if you use ultrasuede in black, what kind of pencil can you use for drawing lines? It's a very good question, and great for bringing it. Thanks for bringing it to our attention. In that case, choose a gel pen, and there are silver and golden gel pens available, and then those are visible on the black ultrasuede. So there is a solution indeed. Then we have a question from Kirsten. She says, I got super excited and started 2 coins. When I showed my husband, he wanted one. Isn't it great? So now I have 3. Erika Sandor question, is there a way to finish it off with just these beads we have done in video 1? My guy likes it simple. Thank you. So, Kirsten, it's absolutely possible. Then you can skip lesson 2, and I will show in lesson 3 that how do you attach the backing and how do you connect the two layers. You just, well, don't come to school for lesson 2, and you don't need to do the decorations if you make this for your hobby in a simple way. Then, do you always have to have an even amount of beads surrounding the cabochon? You should aim, if you want to bezel with peyote, then you should aim for an even number of beads. However, it happened to me in the past that I just couldn't make it. Somehow I just didn't work out, and I ended up having an odd number. It is possible to camouflage it, and then you just bead all around and all around without stepping up to the next row. When you look closely at the bezel, then a beader will know that it was not bezeled with an even number, but otherwise it is possible to finish it. Don't worry. Then what happens is actually that at one point, when you finish off the bezel, instead of having 2 number 15 beads next to each other, at that point you will have 3. But you can indeed camouflage it. I will look for an example between my jewels, because I have done it. I'm guilty of doing it in the past. If I manage to find it, then I will show it to you. Would you be able to do a show and tell in one of the videos or a photo gallery of all of your traveler pendants, please? I would love to see them all in one place. I have actually posted lots of pictures into one post. So you can find it between the pictures. But at the end, if you are interested, because you can develop this idea further and go bigger and connect some elements. If you are interested, then I can do a video demonstration of my bigger pieces, which would be like the traveler level 2, 3, whatever. So just tell me in a comment if you are interested, and everything can be arranged. Then, do you have a rope you recommend hanging this on? Well, you have like, you can go 2 ways. One way is to buy a ready-made rope, for example, leather or silk or whatever rope you like, whatever cord you like. But for example, when you really want to make it like a nice 100% beaded piece, then I like to crochet my ropes, or I like to do herringbone ropes. You can also do circular peyote, or I know that you were learning kumihimo during April. So that can also be used. But my choice personally, it's either bead crochet or herringbone. Can we bead on laces, stiff stuff instead of ultrasuede? Yes, you can. Just if you have white laces, then and you have other than white or cream colored beads, then color it with a permanent marker. Then we have? From Jan? They are all beautiful. I really love the herringbone section on one of them. I hope you will show us how. If you want, I can include it in the last lesson. It's not a problem. Then. I just wanted to bring Petra's comment into your attention. She actually used something else than a coin, and then she asked me that if I mind, and I just wanted to tell you that I am the kind of teacher who really is not particular that you have to do exactly the same as I did. Go, play, experiment. That's better and better. If you take my idea and you develop it further, you just make me happier, because I know that you learned it well. If you are able to develop it further, go along with it. Oh, yeah, Nicole's beadbacking is also great to bead on. That's something I don't have experience with, but thank you very much for the recommendation. Then, is an American quarter too small? If I recall it well, then it might be okay. I think it will be okay. But yeah, I haven't spent too much time in America, so I'm not that familiar with your coins. If it's at least an inch wide, then it will be great. Don't worry about it. You can also bezel smaller ones. I worry more about the thickness, that I like to use coins which are at least 2 millimeter, let's say like 1.5, 2 millimeter wide, because if they are too thin, then the bezel will not look nice. Anita says, it's large enough. Thank you so much. So let's see. Other questions? Yeah, I had this one more time, about the coin. Then, Kathy, question. Are there guidelines, suggestions, hints for which colors to use with coins? I know folks will say, use whatever makes you happy, but I'm going for more concrete suggestions. I'm sorry to say, Kathy, but there is no correct answer. It's like we can't answer that which is the best color. What I like to do, that I like to include some metallics in my traveler pendants. Since the coin is made of metal, then I think it nicely pulls the whole design together, even if I use lots of different shapes and sizes of beads. But I like to go crazy, and I use all different kinds, all different shades and colors of beads. So there is really there are endless possibilities. I am very happy to help you if you start out with something, and if you ask me does this fit into my already existing color combination, then it is possible to answer the question. But there are no better or worse colors for this. But thank you very much for your question. Let's see. Then, this is from Janne, a friend from here from the Netherlands. And these are not questions, but suggestions she had. And I wanted to bring this to your attention too, because she had some very, very useful input here. So she says, thanks, Janne, by the way. I made the coin a bit higher by cutting out 2 round pieces of stiff stuff. Oh, yeah, this is how you can solve actually the thickness of the coin, and gluing them under the coin. I think that will give me more possibilities for the embellishment rounds to come. Then, I prefer not to make any double knots. They might show on the back side. I have to say that I agree and disagree with this, because if I use a thin bead backing on the backside, then indeed the knots might be visible. But if I have a thicker piece of leather, then the knots will not be visible at all. And there are some advantages in using knots on the back. Actually, I put some ideas into the second lesson. So there are some answers to it, that why do I like to put double knots into my beadwork, into my embroidery, not other type of beadworks. Then Cor says, after the first round of delicas, I went 2 more times through all delicas. I'm used to do this in order to make the first round less wobbly. The same thing goes for the last round of seed beads, so that they become more evenly distributed and fit more closely to the coin cabochon. And some of the delicas are more closely attached to the backing than others. Before starting the first round of peyote, I checked this in order to exit from a less closely attached delica. And yeah, I have nothing to add. I just wanted to read this because I think this is really useful advice. So then, how wide is the pendant you are wearing? I like that size. Let's measure it. I don't have a clue. I can give you the measurement in centimeters at the moment. It's 7 centimeters. So if anyone can tell that how many inches it is, then I would be really happy. Then I may have missed this if it was mentioned earlier, but should old coins be cleaned and sealed first so they don't tarnish or discolor? You can clean them. You can clean them with some lemon juice, for example. And if you use a coin which was just now in circulation, then I would make sure to disinfect it for obvious reasons. But otherwise, I'm not cleaning them. No, I like to take it easy. So the 7 centimeters are 2.75 inches. Thank you very much. Then I'm looking at my notes. Okay, this is actually not bead related. It's from Tamara. I mentioned earlier that I apologized for the scars on my palms because I have just fallen with my bike. And she's asking what kind of bike. And yeah, first time I fall with my race bike. I have a Specialized. And then 4 days later, I fall with my city bike. And the scars got torn apart again. So there are 2 bikes I fall with. Thanks for the question. So when I learned bead embroidery for the first time, several books explain that you should always border 2 beads at a time. Certainly, if the stone is high, it can become messy or the edge will crawl under the stone you use for. Can you tell us more about this? Well, since when I'm using actually smaller beads, then I use 4 at a time. When I use bigger beads, I attach 2 at a time with fire polished beads or pearls, for example. And if I am going to make some more rows around the bezel, like with the Traveler, then 4 beads, I think, are completely okay. If I left it as it is, visible, and the bezel would be visible from the side, then I would switch to the 2 bead at a time option. But I have to say that I do all my bezels for like 10 plus years. The Traveler was born like, I think 10 years ago, and I always do this for, always pick up for the first round 4 beads at a time, and it never became a problem since, yeah, they are, no, even if I'm looking at it, it's okay, especially if they are surrounded by other beads. Nothing to do with the project, but what is the purple thing by your head? That one? That is actually a Masai necklace. Last year, I hope you mean this one. Last year in October, I traveled to Tanzania, and I was lucky to meet some people who do Tanzanian traditional beadwork, and this is a necklace which I bought and brought back from Tanzania. I actually posted some pictures, I think, about the Tanzanian trip to the group back then, but if you are interested to see more of the Tanzanian beadwork, then I am happy to upload them again. Just tell me in a comment. So we have some ideas for cleaning the coins: lemon juice and salt, or toothpaste. Good ideas, thank you. Then we have an idea for the German beaders. I use Habrocken fleece to bead on it. It is stiff and cheap. The needle goes easy through. It is possible to buy it in fabric stores. Thank you so much. So, do we have any more questions? I think I ran out of the questions which I noted down from under the videos and under the files. Please tell me if you have any more. And in the meanwhile, as I am waiting for some last questions, then I just want to repeat that the next lesson is coming tomorrow. I am making a video demonstration, just as last week, and then a bit later a PDF will follow, which will note down all the stitches which I mentioned in the video. And yeah, it will not be an exact A to Z instructions, but from now on, this part around the coin, it will be your own. So I will explain some possibilities to you, and you will need to put it together. How do you exactly want to arrange the beads, and in what order should they follow each other? Okay, we have a question. Did you answer if we glue or sew cup chain? I had to step away. We will sew the cup chain. It is possible to glue it, but I prefer to sew it. Sorry, I didn't actually. I haven't seen the question before. Can bicons be used? Yes, they can. They are perfect to give some bling, some more bling to your piece. What time will tomorrow's lesson be, please? Well, I will post it during my morning time. I like to go over it like one more time before I post it. So it will be in my morning time, Central European time. But yeah, I can't give you like an exact time yet. So, and Two more things before I go. I know that for many of you, this will be the first time using cup chain, and I saw some of you getting really excited about using cup chain. And if you are interested in learning more possibilities on how to use cup chain in your beadwork, then a couple of weeks ago, actually, I did a broadcast about using cup chain, about the different possibilities using cup chain. So I will post the link to my broadcast afterwards. And yeah, tomorrow's video, it will not be live. It will be a pre-recorded video, so it doesn't matter if you watch it later. Again, I can come with a Q&A to answer the questions, and I will do my best to answer also the questions in comments. And yeah, this is how my pendant looked like before I actually started to bead, and this is just to get you excited. And I'm really looking forward to see your progress and to continue beading with you. So thank you very much for watching me today. Thank you for all the questions. It was great. And I wish you a lovely rest of the day. Take care. Happy beading. Bye-bye.